Will you rule with an iron fist or navigate the courts and become a diplomatic savant? Crusader Kings 3 thrusts you into a world of chaos, and it's your job to unravel the mess. It's big, it's bold, and it will make you feel mighty, but is Crusader Kings 3 truly worth your time? Hello friends, it's Kodiak here, one half of the team behind Legacy Gaming, and today we're diving into Crusader Kings 3, a grand strategy game developed by the masters of strategy themselves, Paradox. If you're new to the channel, Worth Your Time is our take on a video game review. We focus on two essential things, systems and gameplay, but the ultimate goal is to give you enough feedback for you to make the decision, is it worth picking up, and is it worth your time? Grand strategy games are not for the weak of heart, and full disclosure here, this is the first time that I have ever played or reviewed one, but I think there's a real opportunity there. After around 15 hours with the game, I have to say it's an overwhelming experience, but there is an addiction factor to the game that I can't quite describe. At its core, Crusader Kings 3 is about making decisions. A lot of decisions. But there are also some really interesting role-playing elements that tie you to specific characters and places. If you've never played a grand strategy game before, know this. There is a steep learning curve. You're one part of an incredibly large world, and there is no real set objective. You're forced to find your way in the world, whatever that path may be. You can choose to focus on your military, make claims to different regions, and try to overpower your enemies, or you can focus on gaining wealth, buying favor with your adversaries, and finding deceitful ways to subvert their goals. It all boils down to how you want to play. Crusader Kings 3 involves a lot of reading. A constant stream of information will assault you, but it is manageable, even when things get a bit overwhelming. Sure, you have 11 tasks that need your attention, but for the most part, they come one at a time. Everything has a tooltip, and within that tooltip is more text and more dynamic links, which ultimately lead to more reading. I mean, it's really non-stop. After around 10 hours, I found that the scenarios were becoming more familiar. When I first started the game, I was taking a lot of time learning, understanding, and trying to figure out the basics, but once I hit double-digit hours with the game, I was able to traverse most of the content with relative ease. By no stretch does that make me an expert. In fact, I really enjoy the fact that even on the easier scenarios, things were challenging. Nowadays, video game fans are used to being the hero, the center of attention, and steamrolling through a game, but that's just not how this genre and this game work. It's a slog, but an endless stream of events and activities makes each moment enjoyable. For someone who's never played the game, let me explain a little further. An average day involves manipulating time, waiting for events to happen, all while managing your territory. There is a vast web of alliances tied together through marriage and birth, and it's a great depiction of how messy those parts of history really were. As months turn into years, governing means building up cities, marrying off your kids, and trying to figure out your next power play. The map is absolutely massive, and to try and understand every intricacy takes a brilliant mind, but for casual players like myself, the scope is magnificent. Crusader Kings 3 is truly a game I don't mind losing in, but so many factors play into how you lose that it's a roller coaster ride up until the very end. You could be having a great playthrough, things going according to plan, and then all of a sudden an enemy declares war, their allies come to their aid, and your 1,000 troops is woefully outmatched. It's a game of strategy, short-term and long, and it forces you to think big picture while also dealing with the meticulous details of the day-to-day. If this all sounds overwhelming, I totally get it. I've been there, and it is, I'm not gonna lie. The sheer number of pop-up prompts and text boxes is enough to make you lose your head, but the game's tutorial and issues manager do a good job of getting you acclimated with the game. There is no way you can learn it all in a few hours. There's just too much complexity to break down. But the general thread of the game is easier to grasp than I anticipated. The game also injects some serious RPG elements into the mix, like attributes and traits, and they all tie into your overall effectiveness as a leader. You're managing a dynasty, but you're also responsible for managing yourself. The stress of losing a loved one or failing miserably in combat can weigh heavily on the soul, and it's just another aspect of the game that you have to balance. You'll also have to choose a lifestyle. Do you devote yourself to learning, or do you wage war across the land? What you choose here plays a big part in the pop-up options you get along the way and really define your ruler's experience. I didn't realize this right out of the gate, but once I started experimenting with lifestyle choices, I was blown away with all the variety. It's a game that keeps on giving, and although mayhem is bound to consume you, there is beauty in the chaos. Without playing the game for yourself, there is no way anyone could go through the minute systems that make up Crusader Kings 3. But the real question is, have you seen enough to entice you? And is the game worth your time? I say yes. As someone completely new to this genre, I'm blown away by the scale and scope of Crusader Kings 3. My small part in a massive world feels significant, yet incredibly unimportant at the same time. While the game does require a fair bit of reading and the pop-ups can sometimes become nauseating, the experience is incredibly rich and the replayability endless. For those of you that have played and enjoyed grand strategy games before, I apologize for getting to the party late. I never really knew I wanted these types of games, but the truth is, nothing in the genre has enticed me up until this point. Crusader Kings 3 is an incredible experience from the moment you jump in, and it's a game I think anyone interested in the genre or the idea of the genre will absolutely love. We hope this video helped you figure out if Crusader Kings 3 is worth your time. If you enjoyed this series and want more worth your time videos in your feed, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing to Legacy Gaming. You can also check us out on Discord. Our community of over 5,000 members is spread across dozens of great games, so click that link below and join the Legacy. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.